Hello, everyone. Hope we're having a fantastic Saturday. Today, we're going to continue on with Endwalker MSQ, and we're going to meet up with the non-temperate Garleans and see what they're going to do to us. Or rather, what Alphinode's going to try and come up with to make them not hate our guts. Although, to be fair, it's kind of understandable why they hate our guts. Also, last time, we found some non-temperate Garleans, and like I said, they really don't like us. To them, we're the invaders. We're the ones that are just coming into their homeland after their entire city has been basically razed to the ground by their own people. And everyone's going crazy. And we just kind of like march in and say that we're going to help them, even though we've been their like sworn enemies for basically all of their lives. And as it turns out, to make things even more likely for them to hate us, the ones that weren't tempered are the ones that were huddled around the radios that were listening to Varys' speech, because as it turns out, those radios happen to be similar to those scales that we use to ward off tempering. Meaning the ones that are huddled around the radios were the ones that were more likely to not be tempered and are more likely to be loyal to the Empire. Well, let's just get on with the story. Let's go ahead and I don't think I talked to everyone last time, so we'll go ahead and start off with talking with everyone. I worry they were not in the best state of mind to volunteer for this undertaking, but what's done is done. I know you will take good care of them, and yourself as well, I trust. They are resilient in the face of hardship. You as well. But good intentions and stubborn determination alone will not be enough to bring our mission to a successful conclusion. Be on your guard. Julius Pierre Norbanus. It is unusual for one so young to achieve such high rank. Very unusual. His uniform identifies him as a member of the First Legion, which has a particularly fierce reputation. Whoever his superior may be, I advise you to approach them with caution. We captured the boy as he was about to make off with our food. He must be very hungry to take such risks. Maybe we should give him something to eat. Reward him for his boldness. I mean, that's not a bad idea. I know. This won't bring back Lysenia or her sister. Take then to give up every time. Perhaps it is unwise to volunteer for such a mission so soon after the previous disaster. Nevertheless, I should not squander this opportunity. Is this my Nama? I mean, the lowly task of keeping watching over provisions would not normally befit the sun, but these being unusual circumstances, I will let no man take that which is not by rights theirs. Said your farewells, have you? You will be received as invited guests, and so I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves accordingly. I think you should be saying this to Alisaie. Your safe return takes precedence over all else. Remember this. Thancred, in particular, will be worried sick if you're gone for too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. Alright, Julius, let's go. Julius. Are you and the children ready? I will explain the route once we are outside of your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it as an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I would expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Alright then, let's head out of the camp and follow Julius. Need to keep an eye out for Aether Currents. I know the next one is to the north around here. I'll need to still keep a watch out to make sure I actually get it. Where do you think their headquarters are? I assume there are a few others beside him and his commander he mentioned. We will do only as instructed. After all, this is what we have been striving for ever since we arrived. Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We head over that hill, then follow the road while we reach Liminal Station 4. Children, in the lead. I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Alisaie, and he's Alphinaud. And last but not least, there's Brillian. Brilliant. Where have I heard that name before? As soon as Alisaie said it, I'm like, wait, shouldn't I use an alias or something? No matter, Alphinaud and Alisaie will watch the road ahead while we bring up the rear. I wasn't lying about there being many dangers, so you're to run, not saunter. Run, towards the station. If you think about going for your weapon, the deal's off. Should any creature bar the way, we go round them. Once you choose to depart, Julius will accompany you. Alphinaud and Alisaie will then begin moving towards the destination. Make your way to Liminal Station 4 without falling behind. If you leave Julius behind for any reason or lose sight of Alphinaud and Alisaie, you may try again by returning to the starting point. Ready to make a dash for the station? What will you say? Yes. Over the hill, right? Let's say if ever gonna pass the Aether Curtain, I'm gonna have to come back. Okay, northwest is that way. It's not the end of the world if I would need to come back and get it later. This must be the road he mentioned. If we follow this, it should lead to the station. Not the easiest service to run on. Well, it's better than swimming, right, Alphinaud? We better not draw attention. Well, I mean, you guys are the ones that are running on, leading the way. That's the station, I presume. Okay, there's a new one northeast, so there's gonna be one over here and probably one over here. Yeah, we'll see. I'll keep a lookout for the one over here, since there's probably gonna be one in this area. We're here, I think. It's nothing like the ones in Thanlin. Garlemald sitting ominously in the background. This is it. The first stop, that is. Yeah, he wants to check, make sure no one's following. Good. It looks like your friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No. We're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you've kept to your side of the bargain, we can carry on. I mean, bro, would it kill you a little bit to trust us? I wonder what sort of conditions Julius and his comrades are living in. If they have any sense, they'll have picked somewhere like Victor Spoils to take shelter. We're getting closer to the Imperial Palace, if one can still call it that. It truly is a terrifying sight to behold. North of the station is Regio Domorum, one of the main residential areas, or at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close. No wandering off. Understood? Yep, sounds good to me. Is this the same thing? Yeah, same thing. The last bastion. Julius knows only too well that danger lurks around every corner. From here, we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of the railway. While the route itself is straightforward, going past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They would attack their own countrymen? Alphinaud, you've seen tempered individuals before. You know how this works. Aye, they spare their own, but slaughter the rest, without hesitation. Though we'll try to avoid detection. The chances of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you're to fight them off. Those two will follow us, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take that chance. With that said, let us proceed. Let's see, he said the right side of the tracks or the left side? Left side, looks like. Okay, let's look for the that's not the Aether, that's not the compass. Aether compass. Northwest. Okay, it's probably like right on the other side there, so I'm gonna try and grab it. Let's ignore the circle. Unless it's up top somehow. Okay, yeah, it's probably on top of here. Let's go up here. Oh, never mind, just right here. There we go. Now let's go help them out. Oh, don't worry, Alizé's with them. I'm sure they'll be fine. Also, these cars. Actually, hold on. Cars? I guess so? If they've got tanks and Magitech weapons, then the cars would make sense. Are you guys not gonna help? Oops, wrong button. Whatever. There we go. Thanks for the help, guys. God damn it! We're perfectly capable of holding our own. Oh, right, because he sees them as kids and that can't fight. We must stay alert. I see why your comrades chose you. Julius, our contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered, as we call them. Your people would need to be taken into custody that may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Like he's gonna believe that. Is that so? For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. Again, he makes a good point. As far as I and the Legion are concerned, they are no longer our people. They are beyond saving. Those who thought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. I mean, it's understandable. Let's see, where's the next one? North. Okay, that's gonna be on the other side up here somewhere. It looks like we're heading up to this place next. But of course, we got another purple circle to take care of. So far, I've only played like 2 or 3 melee DPS jobs, but so far, Dragoon is still my favorite. I like having just being able to weave a bunch of abilities in between. I think that's probably why I like Dark Knight too, because you end up weaving a lot of abilities in. ... I hate to watch you bear this burden alone. Yeah, she wants to fight. Of course she does. Looks like we're not being followed. We will continue onward. We got another purple circle. Oh, nope. Looks like he took him out himself. Good job. He truly believes there's nothing that can be done for them. No wonder he isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. The surest way to limit casualties is to reach our destination without drawing attention to ourselves. Perhaps afterwards we can try again to convince Julius and that the Tempered can be saved. I mean what I said. These people deserve only death. I stayed my hand before, only out of the desire to remain undiscovered, and that is still the higher priority. We should continue to avoid any unnecessary confrontations. Keep following the railway. Alright. I mean, I'll keep following it, although watching you slaughter your own people is a bit, difficult. Yeah, we're heading up the railway that'll head us up to Territum. I've been using the El Tow mount, or however you say your name, from the El Tow custom deliveries. But I looked through my mount collection, and turns out I actually had the red bird from Ravana Extreme. I didn't notice. And I really like how I like the color of the red, and I like the mount in general. At some point, I might try farming out the Heavensward Extremes, but not right now. I want to get to like level 90 before I try doing that. Because I can do it on Warrior at like level 85, but on some of them I had some difficulty. Ravana took a while. I did it on Dark Knight, didn't I? To think they were once ordinary people. Such a transformation is likely irreversible. Look at what they have become. Would you still stand there and claim that they can be cured? Those exposed to the vast quantity of Primal's aether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. I'm just thinking back about all the Sin Eaters and Tesseline and everything. They've seen this before. Then you admit it. Now that you have seen these monstrosities for yourself, perhaps you will think twice before speaking of a cure. No, he's not going to, because he knows there's a cure. Just not for, like, that far gone. Can I even get to this? Can I get to this, Aetherite or not? Doesn't look like it. Maybe it's underground. Either way, it doesn't look like I can reach it yet. Let's head over here. There's like a base of some sort. Though I wish there was another way, I thank you for keeping us from harm. Even here in the outskirts, it's plain to see how vastly different Garlemald is compared to other cities. We're almost there. You have kept your side of the agreement, so I will keep mine. This way. Yeah, it's definitely different than all of the cities that we've seen before. A lot more mechanical. Ah, okay, it's underground. This is Tertium, one of Garlemald's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I will be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. Okay. Like I was talking about, I would like to get the golden bird at some point, but I want to look at what I actually need to do to get it. I know you need to get each of the Heavensward birds. I did farm out all of the ARR extremes at one point. It actually didn't take that long because they were so easy to kill. The only one that was annoying was, of course, Leviathan. Because I figured out how to do it without getting knocked off, but it was still a pain because I would still mess up sometimes. Anyway, let's talk to the twins. I had no idea they had such expansive structures built underground. Yeah, it is pretty interesting. I don't think they've seen stuff. Well, I mean, they've seen caves, but not something this constructed. Also, why do they have aetherite crystals? It's plain to see why they chose this as their base of operations. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed, and if Julius was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. This may be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold, much like Victor's spoils. It must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guests, the others will not take too kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive over there. Alright, let's go talk to his commander. Oh, let me go get the sightseeing point over there. And can I attune to this Aetheryte yet? I would understand if I can't yet, but... yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't really make sense for them to have Aetheryte. Aetheryte crystals, since they can't channel ether. Anyway, it makes it a lot more convenient for us. Now comes the true test. Well, I mean, this is your area of expertise, Alphanode. I'm just gonna stay quiet. He certainly looks the part. Oh, I didn't even look at him yet. Oh yeah, he's definitely, just imposing commander. I will deal with you in a moment.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Van Kina, Legatus of the First Legion.
The First? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our Emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
No, that's not what he meant.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned.
I forget the whole lore of Garlemald and everything.
Conquest and Empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varys understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
Funny that he says soulless.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
It's not gonna get through,
Perhaps
but
you would.
at least he's being earnest about it. And trying.
But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat.
He does make a good point, though. He's actually listening
After
to Alphanode.
compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
He actually listened to
We won't
Alphanode and gave
stand idly by
a
and let
response.
your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference, to make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
Like he's actually seems like he's considering it. Or at least thinking about it and listening.
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald?
Yeah, that's the same thing
Is
that
it
Varys
because
said.
we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage?
I think that's basically what Varys said at
That
the
our
peace
ideals
talks.
and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not? Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils.
Elfenard won't like that.
That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope.
Here with Elfenard's
It
altruistic
seems
view.
there is nothing more to say on the matter. You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
Yeah, this is so
We will
frustrating.
not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
Okay, gonna have like explosive collars or whatever. Or at least some sort of restraining device.
What are these?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock. Stop. Keep away from that one. The champion of Eorzea
Oh, he
is not
knows.
so easily cowed.
Oh, he knows.
Even if she allowed herself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If she refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
I mean, isn't that exactly what we expected?
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for?
So we're gonna win this guy over too? That'd be interesting. Because even the most bitter adversary may one day see reason. On the coldest, blackest of nights, meager though it may be, we must share the warmth of our fire. Yeah, let's do that one. The top one seems a little presumptuous. Yep. I don't remember who the top one was, unless it was also Haurchefant.
You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
That was pretty cool. I really liked that he actually seemed to genuinely listen to what we were saying, and then basically like, yeah, that's not gonna work. I think that it's similar to how Varys actually, I know I said that multiple times, but similar to how Varys actually listened to the others at the peace talks, and was like, yeah, that's not gonna work, you guys don't understand us. And that's why, I believe that's going to end up being why Alphinaud and Alisaie are happy to be able to talk with everyone else at the camp, because it'll allow us to get a better perspective on their point of view, instead of always assuming that they're the ruthless Garleans who wanted to take over the world. Just like how the commander there was really interested in how we weren't the, quote, merciless barbarian that we had been painted as. I have to remind myself not to touch it. Even if it starts to itch, I'd rather not set it off by accident. Anyway, enough about that. Let's learn what we can from the refugees. It will take more than a trifle such as this to deter us. Compared to what the Garlemald's people have suffered in recent days, these callers are a minor inconvenience. Persone no grate. Julius has his orders, unpleasant though they may be. As per Lord Qantas's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Teritium. Before you ask, no, I don't have the key or any other means to remove your collars, nor would I tell you if I did, and if you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean, or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision. Ooh. Do as you will, but remember, I'll be watching. If I catch wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats and the like, those shock collars will be the least of your worries, understood? Though we're somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation, and above all else, don't use magics of any sort. Yeah, the goal here is to try and learn more about the current state of the Garlean people, not to actually try and get them to turn code or anything. You, on the other hand, may go wheresoever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphinaud and Alisaie will pay the price. Yep. You heard what I said. Don't make me repeat myself. I was kind of hoping you would. Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that. Okay, Octavia? Let's see, hold on, I thought... Oh, yeah, she's got, or at least her... never mind. I was thinking she was Elzin, but she's not tall enough. It's you, Berlian Mason. I served Lord Gaius in the 14th Legion. I was there on the night of the Praetorian Fall. I don't know how you survived that, but okay, with all that devastation and everything. You and your adventures, you killed them, my comrades, my friends, swept them aside in their dozens as though they were nothing to you. And maybe I am too, just another faceless enemy to be cut down. But it won't be long until our countrymen return, until you get what you deserve. Mark my words. Yeah, because it's been... it's understandable. And this is how they feel. So cold. This young soldier is on the verge of losing consciousness. So I wonder if these are available to use. We've not the resources nor inclination to assist the likes of you. Be gone. I know who you are. The so-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk off your face by the blood of your fallen compatriots. I swear I'll... Damn. Tore the sutures. Of all the times, the worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it weren't for the third bleeding us, we'd be the end of you. Vergilia's treachery nearly cost Lord Qantas' life, but we made our escape, took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded, as we prepared to strike back, and then... Night fell, and we gathered around the radio, then the roar, the terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. If you call this a mercy, mind intact but body broken, a soldier in name alone, I'd cut you down where you stand if I could. Murderer. Man, this is good. This radio is the same model as the one used at Victor's spoils. Perhaps it is what saved the soldiers here from being tempered. Let's see, where's the last couple that I need? Or the last one. Up there he is. Piso. Bit of a cheesy name. You came with Julius, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you're best to keep your hands off that aetheryte. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garleans, for Garleans. Could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the aetheryte power to keep this place lit, though that comes at the cost of its normal function. Okay. Let's see, need to talk to them? Okay, Alphanud's over here. Let's talk to Alisaie first. So cold. Probably hasn't had a proper meal in days. If only we'd brought some food with us. But perhaps I could use a little magic too. No, I mustn't. Gods, this is so frustrating. Yep, I mean, it's supposed to be. Let's see. I'll just go talk to Alphanud. I think it would be pretty interesting to go and talk with all of them, but there's too many for me to do right now. Did you learn anything of note? Well, pretty much everyone thinks we're murderers, which is kind of understandable. And your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are at greatest risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I feared they will soon perish. I realize there is precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me tend to them? Are you sure they're going to be okay with this? This does not seem like they would be happy to do this, to let you do this. Oh well, Flavis, here's some, I'll give you some help. Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. Thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still survive in that way. Man. This is tough. So those you met fare no better. I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies. Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they are not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Julius could persuade him, though we'd need to persuade Julius first. Yeah, that's not going to be very easy. Hello, Julius. Your people don't seem to be in very good condition. Maybe I could help. Oh, but I'm the champion of Eorzea. I'm just going to murder them. Well, seen enough. Julius, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to produce any more supplies or procure? We've been scavenging provisions from nearby houses, as most families kept some stored food away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we've lots of mouths to feed. I could do that. Fuel is the greater concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside, until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees, or one of the afflicted, for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can hold on a little longer, the situation is surely to change. No. Aye, everything will change. Well, why does he say that? One of your comrades mentioned something along those lines. Those mysterious countrymen of yours, I assume. Hey, can you explain, sir? What you think is going to happen? Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or in the bastard's words, loyal servants of the Telepharoi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or whatever stands in its place. We'd identified the seat of the enemy's power. We realized Lord Quintus dispatched messengers to the 10th Legion saying as much, and instructed them to join forces with the provincial legions to prepare for a combined assault on the Telepharoi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hands. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. They need help now. Say the word and we will bring you ceruleum. I will speak with Lord Quintus. So, did he agree to it? Of course not. No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of her enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Okay, I guess that works. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. You lot are more trouble than you're worth. Yeah, having to listen to Alphinaud for hours. Once we are outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. Yeah, I don't think he's the... I think he's getting a little tired of Alphinaud's, altruism. Although this is hardly the solution we had in mind, it will have to suffice for the time being. Without our healing magics, there is little we can do for these people beyond offering words of encouragement, but this way we'll be able to offer them tangible assistance. Yep. His park materials. Julius finds himself in the somewhat bizarre position of leading ambassadors of an enemy contingent on salvage mission. We will begin our search for ceruleum in Regio Urbanishamia. Urbanisima. The first location is Forum Solius, a park to the northwest of this station. You are to remain close to me at all times and act only as ordered. Follow me. Okay. Alright, let's head on over to that park. Now, where's the next Aether Current? Northwest. Okay, it's probably, like, up here. I'll need to try and watch out for that. Well, it looks like we're heading in the northwest anyway. Hopefully we'll just walk right by it and be able to pick it up. Like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that before we talk to them. Because it's right there. It always gives me a bit of a chuckle when people complain about Aether Currents. Clearly you haven't done a WoW flying grind. This is the place. To think this macabre graveyard for War Machina was once a park. Yeah, I guess it was. I mean, I can kind of see, like, the gazebo. Wait, that's not a gazebo. Besides, they don't know what a gazebo is. So this is the park. I'm surprised they found space for one amongst all the buildings. Actually, the recreational areas came first. The houses were built later around them. You see, the Garleans aren't all bad. They actually have pretty good city planning. A healthy society requires communal spaces for children to play and adults to socialize. Now, if only we see, this is the kind of stuff that we need to learn. This park was named after the founding father of the Empire, the great Zos Galvus. Kind of befitting that the park gets destroyed. Did we come to extract ceruleum from the wrecked Magitech armor? No, we've already drained it dry. The same goes for the rest of the Machina in the vicinity. But as our ceruleum has been stolen, we must scour the city for every last drop. And while I don't expect to find anything here, I've decided to try one more time, in case something else has been overlooked. I see. Then with your permission, we will commence the search. Alright, let's look around for some ceruleum. Oops, there's a spot over there. Shop counter. I don't think they don't seem to be open. Though rather small by Garlean standards, the structure is reminiscent of a merchant's stall. Perhaps it was built for children to play as a shopkeeper. There is nothing inside resembling Magitech or any other devices that would be fueled by ceruleum. And why'd you put the... Oh, I guess it's for world building. I can say, why did they put it there, but... Supposed to teach you about the park. Interesting. Wish I could actually read the text, but it looks like it's not high enough quality to try doing that. I don't imagine there would be much need for Magitech in a park of all places. But then again, I wasn't raised in Garlemald. They may have uses for ceruleum I've yet to consider. Don't they, like, power all their lights and everything with it? So, like, in the lamp? Well, actually, that would be a flow of ceruleum. Anyway. A cursory inspection of the wrecked Magitech armor confirms that the fuel canisters have long been drained of ceruleum, as Jules said. Okay. Little bench in the middle here. Oh, there's a spot up there. It's where the Aether Current was. This is a nice little place. Several points of interest are marked on the map of Forum Solius, the pond, children's play areas. To your knowledge, however, none would require the use of ceruleum. Let's see. There's one more spot to check. I just need to find where it is. Oh, they're over on the playground. Although I want to talk to Alize and Julius first. Oh, okay, this is more of a gazebo. This, whatever it appears to have some sort of symbolic meaning relating to this park. Even though the place is named after Soleus, it doesn't seem to be a statue of him. Well, at least not anymore. Maybe it was once a fountain, or somewhere the man himself used to sit. Not that it would matter, even if we knew, but I can't help but wonder. Maybe it was. And this is the little pond that they mentioned on the map. ... Julius ignores you as he stares at the water in silence, as if searching for something he knows is gone and will never return. I mean, like his home? And his country? Oh, let's go slide down. Let's go get the sightseeing point and then slide down the slide. The contraption is built in the style of Imperial War Machina, armed with a battery of weapons and... What am I even looking at? The contraption? What? Armed with a battery of weapons and capable of transforming into different configurations. But on closer inspection, it appears no more than a children's slide. Okay, that threw me off for a second. Like, why are they talking about War Machina? It's a slide! Julius, we're done. Oh, it's you. Any luck? Stoic head shake. There was no sign of any ceruleum. Hardly surprising, but disappointing nonetheless. I couldn't help but notice you gazing at the pond. Is something the matter? I mean, everything's the matter. What? Yes, I mean, no, It's just... I used to bring my brothers and sister here to play. The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, so like all the other children... Wait, if it's still not frozen, isn't the heater still working? The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, so like all other children, they just had to wait and splash about. Would have stayed there if I couldn't drag them out. We'd be sopping wet when all was said and done. Every time. And every time, when we'd go home, Mother would scold us, saying we'd catch our death walking around like that. The pond was heated. Yeah, see, Alphinode's thinking. With a cerulean-powered heater, by chance? I suppose it must have been. Come to think of it. I remember seeing engineers changing out the tank beneath the hatch. But this was a long time ago, when the water still flowed clear, and it wasn't this brackish murk. We can't see a thing, and I can't remember where the hatch might be. With the machinery most likely broken, the amount of filth in there is probably the only reason it hasn't frozen over. I'd wager it's still unbearably cold, though. Well, Alizé's gonna go get in. Julius, what are your thoughts on magic? The average Garlean would jump out of their skin if they saw it, but the first has a few foreign Sigferi and Medici, sure, whatever, so it doesn't scare me. Then I take it you won't mind if I employ a little now. Alphinode, as you have a knack of finding dry wood, why don't you bring me some? Once it's done, a blast of Verifier should do the trick. Leave it to me. You're not planning to go in there, are you? Of course I am. The tank isn't going to fetch itself. It's nothing so involved as in extracting unprocessed ceruleum from a frozen lake like how the tappers do it. We're talking about a shallow pond in a park, and we have a way of warming ourselves up after. But that's insane. So, fancy a dip? A little friendly competition might make things interesting. The last thing we need is you catching a cold. Step aside while I drink the pond dry. That way, we'll find it in no time. Yeah, no. The last one to find cerulean tank is a rotten egg. Though I dare say we'll both smell like rotten eggs when this is over. And just like, wait, what? I think he's finally learning just how crazy we are. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Let's see, can we find Alpha Node over here? We walk around for a second and see if we can find him. I mean, this boy isn't very buoyant, so I don't really expect him to get in the water anyway. I doubt we can actually see find Alpha Node around here. Yeah, let's just head back. Yeah, Alizy's already in the water. Let's actually talk to her first, if I can. Gods, if he could. It's cold. Perhaps we should have listened to Julius after all. Yeah. You delve into the murky water, but come up empty-handed. To add injury to insult, the icy wind on your damp clothes chills you to the bone. Drenched in ice-cold water, causing damage over time. You delve into the murky water to come up empty-handed. To add an injury to insult, the icy wind in your damp clothing chills you to the bone. Yep, same thing. It's probably going to force you to go through all of them before it gets to the correct one. Delve into the murky water, chill to the bone. And let's save it to this one. Beneath the water, your fingers catch what you might think is a handle. Oh, that's good. You open the hatch and retrieve a cerulean tank. However, your grand discovery comes at great personal cost, as you became acutely aware of your freezing cold and rancid odor emanating from every ilm of your body. Julius will doubtless feel compelled to pinch his nose shut when you deliver to him your prize. Success, but at what cost? Also, I win, Alizy. You found it? Must be another one around here somewhere. Okay, Julius, I got us the tank. Did you find anything? I hope you did. Yep, right here. That's it. And there's still some cerulean left. The fire's still not ready. Hold on. I'll give Alpha Node a hand. I think it's almost time for a break. First, let's warm up. Call me an old dawn before my fire. I am reborn, and my clothes are mostly dry now, too. I appreciate you recovering the ceruleum, but I wish you'd taken the time to discuss the plan with me beforehand. Despite the way you've been treated in Lord Quintus's eye, you're still envoys, deserving of protection. If you were to die on my watch, he would be most displeased. Your concern is duly noted, but all's well that ends well. Julius, you mentioned coming here with your younger brother. Your younger siblings. Did you grow up in Garlemald? I did, not far from here. My father was an accomplished researcher in his youth, and for his contributions to the Empire awarded him an estate. We lived well, better than many. What was Garlemald like in those days? Everything. It was everything you could imagine, and so much more. Even during the coldest winters, we always found warmth and comfort at home. Coming in from the snow, taking off your coat, and sitting down for a hot meal with your family. Visiting friends and relatives, receiving that same welcome, knowing they had everything they needed. Walking down the street, seeing the lights in all the houses, hearing the faint sounds of laughter and song of happiness. And although the summers came and went all too quickly, in that brief respite the ice would melt and the forgotten grass would make its triumphant return. Gray clouds gave way to blue skies. Some mornings, we'd climb to the top of the tallest buildings we could see and watch the sunrise. Never again. Those rooftops are rubble, those friends dead, and those memories. But if I could reclaim even a fraction of what we once had, I mean, we're right here. Soon, our chance will come. We just need to hold on a little longer.